So let's talk about the motion picture debut of Marvel Comics' Man Without Fear. Brace yourselves, because here's a review of Daredevil right now. Bad Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome, true believers and fellow YouTubers out there, to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Decided to do my Stanley impression. Hello, I'm Doyle, better known as the Big D, as I start off Super September with Daredevil, released by Fox and Regency Enterprises in 2003, directed by Mark Steven Johnson. The film is based on Marvel Comics' vigilante hero, Daredevil, also known as the Man Without Fear. Now, Daredevil is sort of in a way similar to Batman, almost, but not completely, because he is actually Marvel's version, or should I say, answer to Batman. Anyway, the film stars Ben Affleck in the title role, along with Jennifer Garner, Colin Farrel, David Keith, Joe Pantoliano, and Michael Clarke Duncan. Oh yeah, and don't forget Jon Favreau, before he even directed Iron Man. Anyway, now, the film was to be produced by two different studios, because Fox was currently working on this along with Columbia, who of course had previously already had success with Spider-Man the previous year. But Regency got the rights to it in 2000. Now, the film got mixed reviews. Everyone liked the action sequences, acting performances, storyline, visual style, stunts, and soundtrack. Unfortunately, others criticized Affleck's performance and its perceived lack of ambition. But it still did pretty well. So, if you are ready, let's begin our story. Now, our main character is Matt Murdock, who happens to be his son of boxer Jack the Devil Murdock. Now, although in the comics he's known as Battling Jack Murdock, and the recent Netflix series, which unfortunately I've only seen the first season. I have yet to see the other two seasons. But anyway, apparently, when he sees his dad taking on someone, in the streets, he runs away and accidentally is blinded by a toxic waste spill. And apparently it blinded him. It did, however, enhance young Matt's other senses and gave him sort of a radar, a sonar, to see via sonic vibrations. And he tells him that he's seen his son get into fights and what have you, tells him that he doesn't want him to be a boxer. He wants to be like a doctor or a lawyer, which that's who he would become. So apparently, after refusing to turn in a fixed fight for a mobster who had employed him earlier in one night, Matt eventually hears some sounds as he has found out his dad has been brutally, savagely beaten to death. Soon, Matt promised to stop all crime that controlled Hell's Kitchen, which is where he's from, as a vigilante crime fighter, Daredevil. Well, now grown up, he is a lawyer, now working in the course where he's from, the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood in New York, where he runs the firm with his best friend, Franklin Foggy Nelson. That's Jon Favreau. Well, apparently, he is really learning something about a mysterious crime boss known as the Kingpin. So, apparently, He's going out to stop this guy who, well, is apparently released after his trial. And he manages to catch him in the bar because he wants to know what Daredevil's after, what he wants: justice. Manages to stop him, and he stops him in the subway tunnel. Yeah, now this kind of had some pretty fun lines. It's like, that light at the end of the tunnel? Guess what? That's not heaven. That's the C train! Yeah, wow. Now, Ben Urich, a reporter, I believe, is, well, is on learning about, believing that Daredevil is up to something, because he's trying to discover something really big. But I'll get to that in a moment. Well, soon he encounters a beautiful gal and what have you. And, well, he kind of gets into a little bit of a fight with her. And she's revealed that she is Electra Nachios. That's Jennifer Garner's character. Daughter of Nicholas Nachios, a businessman who has dealings with Wilson Fisk, who that happens to be the kingpin. A rich executive who's also the criminal leader known as the Kingpin, which you've already known. The same mobster who employed Matt's father, as a matter of fact. Yes. And Kingpin meets with Nachios and stuff like that. Now, soon, after Matt's been talking to Foggy about Elektra and what have you, he just doesn't want to go to this here big, well, I don't know what it is, a big party, a charity ball, or something like that. Well, apparently, it's not just that, but Elektra's actually there. Well, but I'm getting ahead of myself. My bad. Fisk decides to do something when Mr. Nachios tries to end his relationship with him. So he hires an Irish hitman known as Bullseye. That's Colin Farrell's character, who has potential aim. Well, I mean, no. Preternatural aim. Oops, my mistake. To kill him. Daredevil tries to stop him, though, but again, I'm getting ahead of myself. And believe me, will you see him and this dude? He unfolds like a paperclip, undoes a paperclip, and throws it at this dude, and more. Wow. Yeah, and he does. I believe I read somewhere that he actually did that in the comics. Yeah, I recall hearing that my pop used to read Daredevil comics. As I recall. Yeah, he did. Sorry. Okay, now and back to the story. Now, after the party, Nicholas takes Elektra away, and apparently Bullseye manages to steal this dude's motorbike and races off. Daredevil manages to stop him, but Bullseye gets the best of him as he avoids one of his shark him, but then soon Daredevil doesn't have his walking stick, and Bullseye throws it, and eventually Bullseye ultimately succeeds in killing Nicholas and framing Matt's alter ego in the process. Elektra vows to exact revenge, while Ben Urich, of course, is discovering his secret identity. Believing Matt to have done good things for Hell's Kitchen, Uric tells Matt that Bullseye is going after Elektra next. Yeah, next. Well, Bullseye makes it into Kingpin's office, attacking one of the guys with pencils. He's like, was that necessary? It's like, necessary? No, it was fun. Yeah. And, yes, but, and then later on he reveals to him, the devil is mine. It's like, I've heard that one too many times. But answer me this, how do you kill a man without fear? By putting the fear in him. Yeah. Yeah. Then just give Elektra my best. Anything else? It's like, and Bullseye's like, yeah, I want a bloody costume. Yeah. Okay. So, Daredevil's tracking down Bullseye, but Elektra appears out of the shadows, who plans to use her own training in martial arts with her sai to avenge her father's death. She defeats and injures Daredevil and manages to remove his mask. She discovers Matt's secret identity and innocence. Forced to fight Bullseye alone, Elektra is overpowered. Yes, and is killed with her own sai. Now, wounded Daredevil makes his way to a church where he is looked after by his confidant, Father Everett, who knows his secret identity. After recovering slightly, Daredevil has to finish this, a fight with Bullseye, who had followed him. And Bullseye discovers that loud noise is Daredevil's weakness, and prepares to kill him with a spiked piece of wood. Yeah, well, I'll get to that in just a second. That fight is really awesome. Yeah, he really manages to stop his shuriken. After he runs out, he takes a glass. Well, this I forgot what it's called. I think it's stained glass off the church windows, and man, he really starts throwing. Daredevil is so quick and agile with his moves. Yes, knocks. He manages to weaken Daredevil and reveals that Wilson Fisk is the Kingpin. Yeah. Just as he's about to get stabbed with the big piece of wood, suddenly he manages to hold it, Bullseye off as soon as an FBI sniper stationed on the neighboring building preparing to fire. Yes, Daredevil moves out of the bullet's path and pulls Bullseye's hands into it. And he pleads for mercy. Matt throws him from the church's steeple. Bullseye lands on the hood of Uric's car and is severely injured, but alive. Okay, now I'm going to get to the ending. Please stop this video at once and go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below to avoid ending spoilers, because we're now going to get to the last bit, the ending of this movie. Okay, thank you very much. Enough said. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Now, upon discovering that Fisk is the Kingpin, Bullseye's employer, Daredevil makes his way to Fisk's office. And there they begin a fierce fight. Fisk proves to be a surprisingly powerful combatant due to his size and brute strength. And he dominates Daredevil for most of the fight. Matt questions Fisk as to why he killed the people he loved, including his dad. Fisk replies, it was just business, for he had worked under a guy named Fallon at the time he killed Jack, and Elektra was in the wrong family at the wrong time. Angered, Daredevil regains his strength, and he hears water coming, and that's one thing he can actually see. He breaks the glass, and soon it goes into a watery fight. And that's how he could actually see things in ways, even though he's blind. But boy, he managed to get him and breaks Fisk's legs. But he refrains from killing him. He doesn't understand why he happened. He explains, I'm not the bad guy. Yeah. And he's like, you hear that? They're coming for you. And Daredevil's like, for me? Did you hear? We're down the Kingpin. They're coming for you. I can hear the police radios from here. It's like, no, I swear I'll kill you. Go ahead. Tell the folks at Records about how you got beat by a blind man. It'd be like blood in the water. Yeah. But he promises he'd be out and what have you. Yeah, instead of allowing him to be arrested by the police, who have discovered his criminal connections. Before being taken away, Fisk, who also had discovered Matt's secret identity after overpowering him, swears revenge on him. He points out that Fisk cannot reveal Matt's secret identity because the humiliation of having been beaten by a blind man will cause him to be perceived as weak by other prison inmates. And then he says, justice is served. Having gained closure over his father's murder, Matt returns to his day-to-day routine as Daredevil and meets Urich one last time, which Urich assures him will not publish his article expose a Matt's true identity. Yeah, he reveals that he is a guardian devil. And that's that. That's the end. But however, we do have a mid-credit scene. We're wondering what happened to Bullseye. Well, he has been, having been moved to a prison hospital and severely bandaged after his confrontation with Matt, is shown still to have his perfect aim as a fly stinging on his nerves, and he impales him with a syringe needle. And he's like, Bullseye. And that's really the end, folks. So, what did I think of Daredevil? Hey, I don't care what anybody says. I liked this movie. This movie was awesome. I love the performances we got from Ben Affleck. I mean, I don't care what the critics say about him. I can understand. Jennifer Garner was good as Elektra. I mean, even though people weren't too thrilled with Michael Clarke Duncan as Kingpin either, I mean, even though I liked Vincent D'Onofrio in playing him in the TV show, and Colin Farrell, not bad. Jon Favreau, Joe Pantoliano, they were all good. And I like the score from Graham Revell, real good. But of course, they had a real good soundtrack released through the label Wind Up, which of course was already a big label at the time, being the home to the rock band known as Creed, and also the label that would introduce us to, a band from my home state of Arkansas, Evanescence. Yes, this featured their breakout hit, Bring Me to Life, as well as, a later hit of theirs, My Immortal. But there were lots of other songs as well. Well, despite the mixed response, the movie still did well, and 2 years later, it would get a spin-off of Elektra. Unfortunately, it failed miserably, and a planned sequel was scrapped. Anyway, also on the soundtrack, there's also Won't Back Down by Fuel, which that's a good song, and Caught in the Rain by Revis. Plus songs from other acts, including, Drowning Pool, Seether, Banger 11, who were also on the Wind-Up label, and many others. Now, a year later after Daredevil was released, though the film was originally rated PG-13, it later got an R-rated director's cut, which had 30 minutes of additional footage, not shown in the theatrical cut, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And that, however, received significantly more acclaim from critics than the theatrical version. But anyway, in 2015, Netflix, along with Marvel Television, produced a TV show which did pretty good. Like I said, I've only seen its first season, but if I happen to one day, I'll try and see the other two if they're still there. But anyway, the story's not too bad, well, because it could have used a little more spin and polish, but with an R-rated director's cut, not a problem. I haven't really seen much. I know I've seen possible clips from that in televised showings of Daredevil, but that might be just another story. But would I recommend Daredevil? Hell yeah! This is one movie I can easily defend and what have you. I don't care what they say about Ben Affleck. He still did a pretty good job. But that's just from my point of view. But you'll have to take my word for it. But anyway, what did you think of Daredevil? Please feel free to tell me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button below and subscribe to my channel as well and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me again next time when I bring to you a review of Hellboy. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm reviewing Hellboy, but this time the original from 2004. Thanks for watching. Now, if you like this video, you can check out these other vigilante-style superhero movies. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Batman with Michael Keaton, which celebrated its 30th anniversary last year. In the upper right-hand corner is my review of another Batman movie, and that being Batman Begins, which is very good. And if you want something else, go to the bottom left-hand corner for my review of Darkman that I did not so long ago last month for its 30th anniversary. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe to my channel. I've gotten over 230 subscribers. I would like to see it ease up a bit more, so here's to hoping for the best. But anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, true believers, I'm the Big D saying see ya and Excelsior! Bye now.